Right, anyway.
Here we go. Yay, here we go.
Yay, we're live.
I hope I'm
Live from New York. It's Saturday night. No, it's not really. It's from Texas and New Hampshire, and it's Thursday night. So forget everything I just said.
I did finally figure out, so now I'm going back on my page. Whoop. And if I don't change the settings to public, we don't see the comments on my page. So here we go. Let me just change the comments to public.
I am
Oh,
I am only
audience.
slightly above Bob in my technology abilities. Not get tickled. Bob always, it's a big joke that he
Here we
doesn't know
go.
how to do stuff. And with me, I know how to do some stuff, but I'm only slightly above that. And like I click the thing that says stream to your audience, and I filled out the stuff and put a title on and all that. But I don't think it's really streaming to my audience, and it bothers me. I don't know what I did wrong.
Well, that's why you have a assistant or something, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oh,
I
those
have an
days.
assistant who keeps my calendar for me. I have an assistant who keeps my social media and email stuff going out that I write. And then
Nice.
the other assistant that I have that does everything else is this ugly guy in his mid 60s, and he's not very good at it.
I got a feeling it's you. So, yeah, I don't
His
know.
name is Jeff. Comb your hair, West.
Oh, yeah, and everybody, your hair looks regular right now. What was funny is on the Go Giver Success Alliance training with Kim Angeli, which was really good, by the way.
He's amazing.
Um, I was saying on the send out card Zoom, I don't think you and I do the same thing. What do you use for a date book or whatever you call it?
I just use my Mac calendar.
Oh, on your computer?
Hmm.
Oh, you're ahead of me. I'm paper still.
That's
So there's
Chandra and
Teresa
Teresa.
and Chandra. Hey, Chandra. Um, so I use this paper one, and I've used the same thing since 1989 or whatever. You can see in the background right there are all of my past ones
I was going to
because
say, since you've been using that since 1989, each year you just write more. So it's got like on the same dates year after year, it's got a lot longer list because you just keep using it over
no,
and over.
no, I have a new book every year. I meant I use the same kind of book. But
Bless
what
my
I like
heart.
is it's got the whole month spread across in little blocks. So I'm not like what remember that old system where you did every hour and stuff. I'm not doing
Right.
that. I don't want to be micromanaged. But in the back there's a bunch of space where you can write other stuff. And in the front and the back, that's where I have my gold that I copy down stuff. And the reason I mention it is because Kim Angeli got a quote that made my book, and it's got to be good if it made the book, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's not your customer's job to remember you; it's your job to be unforgettable.
Amen. That's my
And I
favorite
love
thing
that.
that young lady says.
Yeah, I love that because, of course, I like being unforgettable. I
Yep.
want that
Hi,
is my
June.
thing. But yeah,
Well,
I
everything
see.
Kim does is amazing as far as what to do after you've got a client to make sure that this is a client for life and not just a client where you make one sale and they never think about you again. Amazing.
No, and that's great for direct sales too because I've not me in particular, but a lot of Avon representatives, for example, or any of the other companies in direct sales, they'll wait for the customer to call them and not be proactive.
Hmm.
So they may give them a book, but they're not building relationship with the customers. And I think that makes a big difference. I
Oh, I
think you have
agree.
to really be proactive and build it.
As I didn't know that this was an original Bob Berg phrase until sometime a few months ago. But the truth is, people will always do business with and refer business to other people that they know, like, and trust. And that's how you develop that know, like, and trust relationship is that being in contact with them and keeping yourself in front of them and doing it in such a way that you're not just top of mind, but you're literally top of heart. They don't want to do business that you do with anybody but you. So that's a very cool thing.
And, I think there's little things that we all and we talk about this a lot. Me and my team too. Is the little things are the big things. I don't know, the little things end up being the big thing. So like in my business, I send a thank you card to every customer every time. So one of my customers, Carol, she's one of my favorite customers, and evidently I'm her favorite Avon lady too, because we have the same thing we say to each other every time. When she calls me, she says, "Oh, Lisa, you don't have to send me a thank you card this time." And I says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Carol, but it's a rule.
It's a rule.
I've got to, I've got to send you one." I said, "I want to make sure I send every customer a thank you card every time because I don't want you to forget me." And she said, "I would never forget you." She said, "I would never buy Avon from anyone else." She said, "That's the reason I tell all my friends to buy from you." Right. Right. And I don't ever forget to send her one. When one came back by mistake, I almost had a heart attack because I thought, oh no, I know she's waiting for it, even though she said she's not. Right.
Hey, Janet,
She's
how are you?
Janet
Uh,
from Ireland. Yay. And June's on too. June is and Teresa are both near me,
for
kind
some
of.
reason, I've actually seen people's comment and their name on their Facebook posts. I normally don't see this.
It's
I don't know
because I
what I've done, but it's
changed.
working.
No, yeah, thank you. It's me. I
Okay, good.
found out on on Facebook if I don't change the audience to public, we don't see the comments. Now,
Okay,
I don't know why that is, but I fixed that so we're seeing everybody's comments now. And
very
there's
cool.
Peg and she's on YouTube. See it
Peg
sees
is
the little
awesome.
thing.
I see
Yeah,
that.
yes indeed. Did you see Peg had a big book launch? Her and Easter Day did a book and had a
I had
big book
planned
launch.
on being there for their launch party and when her song came out, and I had something come up that night that I didn't realize I had to get done, and
Oh,
it was a crazy night. But congratulations, Peg and Ed to Scott.
that was, and I love the song brand. Oh, and there's Kim. I
Hey,
seen
Kim.
Kim a bunch of times today. She was on the Go Giver training too.
Yes,
Yeah,
she
but
was.
Peg's
I
song
was.
came out really good, I thought.
I want to hear that. I've got, but Peg, if you'll post a link in there that so everybody can go hear it, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Hi, Laurie.
What were you going to
Uh,
say?
I I was watching one of your trainings on send out cards today because I'm trying to develop a little bit of a marketing plan for some workshops that I do,
Hmm.
and if I do that, I'll utilize. If I'm having a little challenge on a couple of things that you and I'll talk about behind the scenes, but if I do that, I'll do send out cards and I'll do it under you.
That's
But
awesome.
but I was watching one of your training things, and Peg was on it, and I think Maureen was on it, something like that. But yeah, one thing I have absolutely just adored about you and how you run your business is you go so far above and beyond the equation that most people don't do. And you're constantly trying to help your people get better at their stuff. You're doing these trainings all the time. You're even this thing, even though this is fun time for me and fun time for you as far as our interaction, this is also part of what you're trying to do for your people. And I, I don't say this shyly. I absolutely adore you. And this is just one of those things. So.
Oh, don't make me cry.
I have to make you cry. We're coming up on our 100th episode, and we know what that means. So,
And there's Debbie's on and Lori's down at the Cape. She said humidity Cape Cod. Yeah, it's humidity.
hi, Debbie. And I'm in Houston, Texas today, so I'm not sure that I would understand humidity somewhere else.
Oh, thank you. Oh, oh, sorry. Sorry about that.
Don't make me
Yeah,
spit my coffee through my nose.
you know though, when I'm doing these weekly trainings and all that stuff, all I keep thinking in my head is stuff that I've heard a zillion times. It's easy for me to say, everybody knows that already. I'm not going to talk about that, or I'm not going to bother to go live because the stuff I know everybody knows already. But it, I realize that sometimes you have to hear stuff a bunch of times. Other times it's somebody that was doing part time, they suddenly need to earn full time income. And the one thing that I say on one of these things may be the key, and I
Hmm.
don't know. So to me, I'm just trying to be accessible, trying to share whatever I do know and hoping that it hit somebody that needed it that day.
Well,
And
Kim Anjali,
that's what.
who explained something to me about those kind of things. And the young lady is brilliant. She just really is. And she was talking about, because I had some concerns as we were promoting Sales Wise Live. Was I sending out too much stuff about it? Was I posting too often about it? And she said, no, not really, because the way the algorithms work, not everybody sees everything anyway. So yeah,
Right.
you never know who's going to see what you posted that day. So,
Well, even the email thing, um, people aren't going to read every one that you send. So if
right,
you send one a day, they'll read some of them.
right.
So yeah, no, I think you guys are doing a great job. Janet said, "Hope it's good, healthy coffee." Are you? Yeah.
And it is my favorite Irish coffee, minus the coffee. So,
Yeah, I was drinking the CBD coffee. Yeah, shameless plug. The CBD coffee. Shameless plug. The reason I have the box of packets here, by the way, is because I'm doing a promotion in my secret, super secret customer group. So if you're not in that yet and you'd like to be, let me know because I'll add you. But if they put CBD sample in the comments, I'm sending them a
right.
sample.
Hey, Dr. Victoria Lockett Sheffield, I have a question for you. Do you prefer to be called Victoria, Dr. Sheffield, Dr. Victoria Lockett Sheffield? I want to know because that way I can call you the way you want to be called.
And let's see. Oh, Peg put the link to her song. That's awesome. I
Good
think that
job,
is
Peg.
brilliant of Lowry because you write the song with him, so you're a co-writer on the
Right.
song. So it's not like someone wrote a song for her. They co. Well, that's kind of like the book, right?
Well,
Right.
in many ways, it's exactly like it. And
Yeah.
back in my history, uh, let's see, Vicky is fine. Thank you, Vicky. Back in my history, of course, my education is in music. I got the bachelor's in music ed and the master's in music composition, and I've written a lot of music in my lifetime. And I it's funny when you write a book or you write music, it's a different animal. I could go out and sell something that some company had all day long. If somebody says no, I will always be kind, but it doesn't really bother me if someone says no. I know that this is just part of the process. You work your way through it. But when someone, uh, and I haven't had to deal with that with our books, my books, the books we did together, or the book Bob and I did together. I hope everybody loves it, but it's not exactly the same. But for some reason, when I wrote music and then I would send it to a publisher to see if they wanted to publish it, and they said no, it was like,
Oh,
oh my God, they've insulted my child. It made me
oh, that must be.
angry.
Oh, that must be
I lit-
harder. Is
well,
that
it
like
is.
artwork? A piece of artwork? You just
Yeah.
Yeah, you're that
You're
emotionally
giving
into
birth
it?
to it. Although
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. Ladies who've given birth will tell me, "Oh, heck no, that's not the same." I agree. But I remember I was literally in my car one time with the person who heads up the music division for a particular publishing company. It was with the Southern Baptist Convention, and there was some music I had written for our church, and she's listening to it in the car and loving it. She says, "You got to send that." And I said, "Okay." And I sent it, and her underling rejected it, and I got my feelings hurt.
Yeah, I get so the what is the answer in that case? To you still it's still a volume of people. You have to
Yeah, but
just right,
the answer is I quit writing music and started writing books.
right.
Hey, Ty.
You know what's funny? Yeah, hi Ty. You know what's funny is I kind of got that way and then had realized I was doing it when I was doing some of the graphics for the play.
Hmm.
Somebody else came in and said, "I do this professionally. Those are so amateurish." And at first, when I looked at it, I went, and then I thought, well, wait a minute. She's going to be doing it free, just like I'm doing it free. Let's see what you got. So I said, no problem at all. And so I just set myself my my feelings aside for that because
Right,
when I'm doing it for me and my business, I don't need approval from anybody to use my own graphics.
right,
So when I'm doing them for somebody else, I just have set it aside and thought they don't like it, it doesn't matter because I think I do good enough on the side.
right.
I know you've liked a couple things I've done, but I know that I'm not a graphic artist, but it's kind of I get what you mean about owning it, because if I spend an hour making a graphic to promote something,
Mhm.
I do kind of feel funny if they're like, "That's stupid." So I get what you're saying.
I question someone's need to communicate that kind of statement to anyone else. Hi,
Oh,
Yvette, by
saying
the
it's
way.
amateurish?
Yeah,
She didn't know I
because
was the one that did it. She didn't, so she was thinking she just saying it to a decision maker, not to the one that did it. So it didn't help her
okay, well,
any,
that's a little different maybe because that's an
right.
evaluation. But I'm one of these people, and Lord knows I am definitely not perfect by any stretch, but I absolutely see no sense whatsoever to communicate to someone else that I think what they did was wrong, stupid, poor. I just don't see the
Right.
sense in that. I
No, and I
think
didn't take it as that. When she said amateurish, I actually agreed with that because I don't do that professionally. You know what I mean? A graphic artist. I am not one. I've never got paid to do that. I've done a
okay,
bunch of stuff, but it's because I didn't want to pay someone else and I thought I could do it and get by. So it's
right,
not like I disagreed with her, but if I think I would have been a lot more offended if I knew she knew I did it.
right.
Yeah, because there was no
And that
need for
makes
her to say
sense.
that, right? If it was that,
But
but
I'm just one of these people. Maybe it's because somewhere along the line someone said if you haven't got something good to say, keep your mouth shut.
it's Peg. She
Maybe
just
that
wrote that. She just wrote that in the comments. You guys think alike. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything.
simpatico,
Yeah.
simpatico. Hey, by the way, Peg, today I emailed you a couple of adjustments I want to make on my one pager. And if you want me to do them, you just send the thing back with the source files. I'll do it. But thank you so much. Peg is awesome. Guys, if you ever need anything like that, promotional wise, you gotta think about Peg because she's amazing at doing
Yeah.
one pager things that will help you in a lot of ways. So,
You
hi,
know, the
Jean.
reason I mentioned that about the graphic, by the way, wasn't because I wanted you to feel bad for me because she called me an amateur. It was
I don't
because
feel bad for you.
thank you. It was because it was because I think it was a benefit to me to hold in how I felt about the comment because early on in the whole community service project of working on the plays, I realized this wasn't about me.
Right.
I'm trying to be of service, and the best way I knew how to do that was to volunteer to be Kenny's assistant. That's pretty much what I'm doing. Um, and it's funny because he has people that help him do other stuff too, but I'm pretty much doing like secretary stuff for him. Um, but I had to just think about not what this is doing for me at all. That I had to think about how this is going to be a service. So if someone doesn't like what I'm doing, I'm perfectly fine having them do it instead
Yep.
because we're all volunteers.
Yep.
But I think it's funny, like this particular lady, when she came in, she wanted to show that she had value to bring to the group, but her way to do that was to say, what you've done so far is amateurish. I can come in and do it right. And I think that's actually a bad strategy because, well, because I didn't use it. No, that sounds bad, right? No, I came in thinking I'm not going to say what I can do or can't do. I'm just going to find what I can do and do it. I'm
Right.
just going to find what I'm good at, find my spot, and do the job. I'm not going to say anything about what's been done before I got there. And I actually think that's a little more helpful. How do you feel
Yes.
about that?
If I were in that situation, what I would always do, and quite frankly, I would do this in a sales situation because there are many times that people have, when I would make sales calls, people already had somebody else. I never say anything bad about what they were doing. I would always say, in a volunteer situation like that, especially, well, here's what I can bring to the table. This is kind of something I do, and I can actually do this if you'd like. And since I got a lot of experience at it, I might be able to do it in ways that you like a lot, and leave it at that without saying anything bad about somebody else. It's like
Yeah,
with competition. I never say anything bad about the competition. I would say, they're a reputable company, and I have a lot of respect for them. We do certain things a little differently, and that may or may not be something that you think's better or worse. It's just different. And here's what we can do. And then I would try to position myself similar. I always said to back in my single days when I was dating. If I'm not the right person for you now, I'm going to be the first person you think of when the time's right.
That's nice. Yeah. I still feel bad because I didn't always have this strategy. And when I was a young buck, what was I? No, buckette. What do you call the girls? Young
Buckette.
doe. Buckette?
Doe.
A young
I like
doe.
Buckette better though.
When I was a young buckette in the Avon district in my little state in New Hampshire in Keene, there was a couple older gals. They would have been in their older than me, I'm going to say. They were 70, let's say. I don't want to say my age because I want to shoot myself. So let's say they were older than me right now, but they were older girls. And I went up to them and I was 20. And I went up to them and I said, Betty, you better watch yourself because I'm coming for you. And I still feel bad that I said that. I should have said it in my head. Because I realized after that, doing that is not what I was going for. Was do you remember in Major League, that movie Major League, how
Charlie Sheen, yeah.
yeah, it wasn't him. Who was the there was the other guy that played in that, but he was trying to intimidate the pitcher or whatever, and he looked and he pointed and said, I'm gonna, he didn't say anything. That was meant to be home run.
Right.
And then
Right.
he bunted, right? And then
Right.
they won over it. But I realized that I don't have to do that. I can just actually hit a home run. I don't actually have to announce it prior to doing it. And I realized that after I, of course, vexed the hell out of Betty and the other older ladies in my district by beating them all. But it was like a hollow victory because I didn't know at that time how small the district was. I didn't realize there were district divisions and regions, and so I had a long mountain to go, and I had no idea. I was thinking the district was the top of the mountain,
That's
so
okay. The
I
I
needed
think that
humbling.
original idea about where the baseball batter is pointing to the outfield, I think Babe Ruth actually did that in real
Ooh.
life. He got at the plate with somebody. I think I could be remembering this wrong because I remember some stuff wrong pretty regularly. But he pointed like that, and then he actually hit the home run.
Well, you know what I like to do now, which is probably bad, or I don't know if it's worse than that, worse than doing the point, but now I like to have people find out I did something or have done something without me telling them.
Yeah, just tell them to
You know what?
Google Lisa Wilbur; they'll figure it out.
Well, I have said that before. I said, "Oh, Google my name; you'll get a kick out of it," is what I tell them. I do like to do that. That's probably bad.
I like
Lori
it.
says, "Do not talk smack about anyone or company when offering a solution." Yeah, that's exactly what we're all saying. That's awesome. Yeah,
I,
and oh, Penny's on. Penny up to
hey,
Grove. Hey,
Penny.
Penny.
I was looking
Uh,
back through there because I knew we'd forgotten to say hello to someone. So.
yeah, Lori says I laughed out loud. Yeah, I don't know the district. I don't know. I was feeling my oats when I was in my 20s, thinking, and then when I did start getting stuff like on the national, nobody in my district here in where was even doing it full time, so I wasn't even competing against um, people that are doing the same thing I was doing, and I was sitting there thinking it was so great. When in reality, I was full time competing against part timers. Of
Right.
course, I was going to do
You
more.
kicked it.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
Carol, have fun at
But
your dinner.
but I used to, yeah. Yeah, this one time, and I was telling Ty about this before. We introduced Bon Jovi cologne, and when I found out it was Bon Jovi, oh my God, yeah, I wouldn't kick him out of bed.
If they'd ever introduced a Garth Brooks cologne, you'd have been the number one salesperson in the
Oh
nation
yeah,
in
well,
that product alone.
it was almost like when they remember the YMCA camp when they said it was voting and we got that free camp thing. Well, the Bon Jovi cologne thing, they said if you sell the most units in your state, you get to go to the free concert of Bon Jovi in Vegas. And I'm like, I live in New Hampshire. This is going to be, I know nobody's going to sell that many. So I just ordered 100 bottles. I ordered 100 bottles and I knew I was going to get it. And I did. Yeah. As soon as he was on there and he said, you have to be the biggest seller, is the words in your state. I lit up and I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Bingo.
Perfect. Yeah, that was like the biggest benefit to live in my state. Yeah,
Well,
Carol's on. Hey, Carol.
you could order all the bottles and then get your free ticket and then sell the bottles to offset the cost that you spent. So it's a piece of cake.
And I sold them, used them in gift baskets. I did team incentives with them. I did a whole bunch of stuff with those bottles. That didn't bother me at all. But I didn't feel the need to sell them ahead.
Right.
They were a big seller on their own anyway. But
Right.
no, and they paid way more than that to bring me out there. They paid airfare, hotel, and the concert only had a couple hundred people, I think. I don't know if anybody watching went to that with me. There was a bunch of us there, but it was really awesome. That was the one where we held up the little signs. I don't know if you've seen that. I got in trouble that trip. Big shock there, right?
I am so surprised.
They had it was supposed to be a thing where you said, I'm selling this, but what I'm really selling is this. And they wanted something along the lines of, I'm selling sweet honesty, but I'm really selling um, a memory of my first dance or something like that. That's what they wanted you to put.
Well, what
And
did
what
you put?
I put, I put, I sold a push-up bra because we sell bras, but what I really sold was no eye contact. Yeah, they wouldn't let me
Did they
put that
find that
one.
humorous and reward
No,
your efforts, or did they ignore you completely?
they made me do a second one because they wanted to use me. They wanted to use me in the publicity, and they weren't going to use that one, so they made me do a second one. I thought that was a good one. No, Peg's right.
What I'm
That's a
selling,
rule. If you don't
here's
get
my
in trouble,
stab
you're
at
not
it.
doing enough. Yeah.
What
What
I'm
you
selling is a push-up bra, but what I'm really selling is breakfast the next morning.
Oh. That wow, that's even more than I went for.
Avon will not love me anymore. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. They always had somebody designated at corporate to come talk to me. Right.
If you look on the Avon website and the corporate leadership structure, there's one officer that says control Lisa Wilber.
I don't know. Now that we're under new ownership, I don't know if they have an assigned person. I actually thought they had a like dossier on us and that all my sins from the past would be in it. But they've been including me and stuff, so I don't think so. They
You
all
thought
act
you
like
had
they don't
it
know.
was on your permanent record,
I
didn't
thought it
you?
was on my permanent record.
That's what our teachers used to threaten us with. Boys, if you do that, this is going on your permanent record.
I know.
You can't do that.
I actually made it into their they call it the what's new. It's the demo planner or whatever when the new products come out. I'm in there this in the one coming up, everybody. I think it's campaign 16s as a promo for the convention because it's in Boston.
When is the
And
convention this year?
everybody that knows me that's seen it so far messages me right away and says, "Why did they use a picture where you don't have blue hair?" And I used the picture when I went to the Red Sox game with JP, and it was in the summer that I didn't have blue hair yet because I got it in the fall when we
Right.
did the launch. So that is funny because yeah, Peg says the blushometer.
I got tickled. There's someone who I'm doing a little coaching for them. They're doing some stuff for me. We're kind of trading off services on that, and they were saying, "Okay, you got to update your business picture because my business picture is 10 years old now, and my hair was somewhat more brown." So it's time for me to
Right.
get new headshots and all that stuff done. And I thought, well, that's not very nice, but it's true.
You should have gone to Denver with us because that was inexpensive and they did it on the spot and I loved mine.
Yours
I
was
I was
great.
I know was so surprised that worked out. Peg got some done this last time. Yeah. You'll have to excuse me, Peg, you'll have to share with Jeff your pictures because they came out really well too. She had some done that were poses that
Yeah.
she could use for other stuff.
That's what I've got to do. I've got to do some things that are a little different. I want a traditional business headshot, but I also want some casual things because in my branding, my primary branding is as an author. So I want it to look like
Oh,
the
right.
author web pages. And, now, so I've got to get some shots that are really more appropriate for that. But I also do workshops and speaking events, and companies will bring me in. I'm going to Washington in August, and companies will bring me in to do things. I also need that. So it's almost kind of odd because I really need some different looks on different pages.
Well,
And
I
so,
mean, the guy Gene did in Denver. A lot of guys like that. They go to those big networking events and do them in the back. They have
mhm,
all the props for it and everything. He was really good about because I went up to Gene and I said, "Gee, I don't need a headshot this time, but I need that picture, that black and white one for the book." And I
mhm.
told him what I wanted, and he took that one where I'm straddling the chair in
Mhm.
black and white. Yeah, that turned out good. You know what? Suggestion for your shots is uh, a stack of the books like John David Mann does, and of course,
Well,
I'm
that's cool, but
suggesting.
I don't have as big of a stack as he
No,
does.
I know, but the stack includes the book with me.
That's true. I promote you all the time. In fact, the email that went out to my list today actually promoted Blue Hair. So,
Oh, good. Yeah, can't beat that. Well, we're already at 7:30.
no way. Are
Yeah,
you
and
serious?
for everybody, I am not going to Yonkers in the morning. Usually I do, so I'm hot to get off the call so I can go to sleep. But I'm going Sunday morning, so next Thursday we won't be here. I'm going to make sure to post that up there. We're going to skip a week, and we'll be back the next week after that because we're going to Legoland in New York.
Cool.
Me and Ty
I've
and
never
Jane
been
are
to
going
a
to Legoland.
Lego land anywhere. Where is the Lego land in New York? What town?
It's about an hour north of the city. I forgot the name of the town, but there's a Legoland, New York. I think, like three Legolands. There's one in California and there's one in Florida. It
Oh.
looks fun. We're staying at a Legoland hotel and we got a pirate room. Ahoy, matey!
Arr!
Oh,
You know
that's
what a
going to be
pirate's favorite restaurant is? Harbees.
fun. Oh,
Okay, dad
nice.
jokes are about to come out. We have to end the show before I make everybody nauseous. But let's see. You know what the pirate's favorite character in the Star Wars series is? R2D2.
Oh, gee. Yeah, that's bad. That dad jokes all over the place, right? You're the dad joke
It
king.
really is. It really is. Hey, let's see. We oh, never mind. We'll talk about this at another time. We're
Okay.
winding down, folks. Our 100th episode is coming up,
Yeah,
and
we're gonna have a
not
big
long.
celebration with some surprises for Jeff. Whoops. Some past guests that have been on the show and stuff. That's what I'm hoping for the big
Cool.
100th episode. And if you were wondering whether you can see the old episodes, we've got like 80 something already in the can. That does sound bad, in the can, on tape, on YouTube. The can sounds better. So you could see all of these shows if you want to. If you go on the
You can
YouTube
watch them in the
channel,
can.
you know what's fun to watch is at the beginning when we didn't know each other that well. That's fun. That's
It
funny.
is. I've
Yeah.
gone back and done that myself a couple of
Yeah.
times just to check them. And we were getting our footing or getting our feet under us
Yeah.
basically. And then as it's gone on, it's become much more organic.
Yeah. Yeah. That was funny. And you can see the rest of them on the YouTube channel. It's under the Blue Team Launch. I didn't change that, so they all say the Blue Team Launch. So if you go on the YouTube channel, you'll be able to see that way.
Hi, Chandra.
But anyway, and we're gonna have, yeah, the big celebration will, I'll make some graphics and announce that, but that's still a few shows off. In the meantime, when Mr. Jeff here is busy and not able to join us, I do have we've had the last two shows were two of my team members on each show, and I have more team members to highlight. So that's kind of cool because they're bringing a new set of ideas with them. Idea
Right.
ideas.
Ideas?
Yeah, ideas. Yeah, you got to put the R
Yeah.
somewhere.
Well,
Mother,
that New
father, sister.
Hampshire thing and the South Carolina and sometimes North Carolina thing is similar to put the R on the end of words that shouldn't be there. And then if a word has an R on the end, you take
You
it off
take
and you
it
put an
off.
H.
Yeah, or an A we do here. Mother, father, sister, brother. Yeah, mother.
I'm glad you said mother, father. I was worried about that one. I,
That's wrong.
I know what happens in the
Wrong.
green room.
I do swear like a pirate, but I try not to do it on tape, right? Hey,
Yeah.
Penny's on.
Hey,
Yay,
Penny,
Penny. Penny says, great. I didn't miss you. Wanted to say hi to you both and have a blessed rest of your week. Thank
you
you,
too, dear.
Penny. Yeah, Penny was on one of the shows. She did a great job. Yeah. Oh, and
Yeah.
Summer. Yeah, Lori Walsh says Summer. She's
Yep.
from down the Cape. Do you know what the Cape Cod is like? One of the only places where everybody from Massachusetts will spend 3 hours trying to get over the bridge onto the Cape in the state they already live in. Right? It's I can see that happening with you because the state is really wide, but like Massachusetts is very small, and
Well,
they
we
spend
flew into
hours and
Boston
hours to
one
go.
time. We flew into Boston one time and then took a puddle jumper over to Martha's Vineyard. And I
Wow.
can't imagine what it's like to try to get around in that state in some on some bridges and things. On the
No.
plane, it's fine, but I literally when we landed, I had to go to the hospital and get stitches because Laurie's fingers were so tight into my hand
Well,
because
in
we
the
were hitting
vineyard,
turbulence and the plane held 6 people, so it
yeah.
wasn't like a big plane.
Well, the vineyard is a different animal than the Cape. You can ask anybody over there. The vineyard people are not interested in mingling with the Cape people. No, they're a step above that. So we all know where you are in this pecking order if you're on the vineyard.
Well,
You're over there
well,
hobnobbing with the Obamas or something. Are you doing? Yeah.
not
But
exactly,
not.
but well, when
Oh,
we
that's
went, when we went, um, Laurie was already nervous because we were in that small plane and there was a lot of turbulence. So she literally was not in a panic, but she was certainly stressed. And I looked at her as we were flying over part of it and said, "Hey, you see that down below there in that water?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "That's where RFK Jr. or JFK
good.
Jr. crashed."
Oh, that's helpful. I'd have thrown
That's
you out the plane. I'd be like,
she
"Go
pretty
with
much almost
him."
did. I was looking for a parachute.
Gee.
We're
Yeah,
over
yeah,
time.
that'd have been enough for Mr. Jack. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I'd be like, thank you. Yeah, Lori says, oh my God, miles plus Route 3 before the bridge Wednesday all day. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, I
wow.
don't. My father and mother used to own a little house down on the Cape. It wasn't on the water or anything. I'm not. Yeah, we certainly are not vineyard type people. We barely were Cape people, but they bought that after I left home, so it was something they did in their retirement. So, but yeah, so I know about the bridge, but anyway, so we will let you go for now. Thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate you joining us.
Love you guys.
Love you all, and we will see you week after next. Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
everybody.